How much time have you spent practicing this week? Okay, now let me ask you this. How much of that time do you feel actually made you improve? Now, if you feel like you're putting in hours in the practice room and you're just not seeing the results, it's probably not because you're not working hard enough. It's because you're not practicing with the right system. Hey everybody, Lauren Cohn here. Welcome back to the channel. Now in today's video, I'm not going to teach you a specific practice routine. That's something you can discover in my practice masterclass, which you can access in the link below. But I am going to show you 3 things that every effective practice session needs. If you don't do these 3 things, you are absolutely wasting your time. And make sure to stick around to the end of the video because I've got a bonus tip that's going to supercharge your practice no matter what level you're at. So I recently ran a poll here on my YouTube wall, and practicing was the #1 thing that the majority of over 260 of you said you struggle with the most. So that's why I created my practice masterclass that, again, you need to register in the link below. I want to talk about 3 principles today that your practice session must have. These are attacking your weaknesses, practicing excruciatingly slowly, and third, assessing yourself honestly. Now there's a lot more which I lay out in detail in my practice masterclass, but these are the basics that we're going to dive into today. So first up, you got to attack your weaknesses head on. I get it. It's frustrating and challenging to work on things that you're not good at. It's uncomfortable, but that's exactly where the growth happens. Start by identifying the parts of your playing that trip you up the most. Here are a few things I see in my coaching program with my students where we're working on a lot of jazz frameworks. It's making the chord changes, linking chord changes at fast tempos, soloing through chord changes, especially at fast tempos, playing melodies cleanly, and the problem that so many bass players face, which is rushing. Knock those out first when your focus and energy are the sharpest. Work on those things first, and that's how you're going to start to make real progress. You can even pause the video right now, write down what those top things are, those top challenges that you want to start attacking head on. All right, now that you've picked your weaknesses, you've written them down, we're going to talk about how you're going to go about tackling those. You are going to slow them down as much as you can, and I don't mean a little slower, I mean excruciatingly slow. Now, the first thing is if you're just trying to find the notes of a bass line or a solo, best to do that out of time, right? So if I'm working on, this Stevie Wonder bass line or My Wish, right? So first, I just want to make sure that I can find those notes on the instrument, right? So do that out of time. Make sure you can find the notes. Once you basically know where the notes are, then you're going to slow this thing down excruciatingly slow. When I was 14 and I just started getting into bass, my mom, who was a musician, she would just yell at me that I was practicing too fast. Lauren, you're practicing too fast. You need to slow down. And I would just sort of be like, yeah, Mom, all right, whatever. But, I didn't have the focus at that time. So I sort of ignored her. She was right. And in fact, a lot of my students, we call this the Muriel Method because my mom's name was Muriel. And even to this day, I still have to remind myself of what my mom would say. So thank you, Mom. Now, here's the best part of this. If you can play something, anything, at a snail's pace, excruciatingly slow, you can play it. Even the hardest things that you wrote on your list, stuff that you never thought you would be able to play, take it excruciatingly slow and you will be able to play it. I promise you, if you just work on it slowly, slowly, slowly and build it up. So if we're using a metronome, I may start at 50 beats per minute. That may seem really, really slow, all right, for something like, this bass line from I Wish, which is not really that hard, but this may seem like I'm doing this really slow. 1, 2. Oh. All right, as we can see, because there's a lot of eighth notes and syncopations and stuff, this is actually too fast if we're just starting to learn this. And, some of these metronomes won't even go as slow as I want you to go with this. Let's try 38 beats per minute, all right? 38 beats per minute here. And first, I may just try and sing this, right? Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. That's good. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, boom, boom. Let me try it. might even seem a little fast. But what's amazing about practicing at this excruciatingly slow tempo is you're really giving yourself a gift, okay? Because it just makes everything so much more fun. You know, even when I was playing that, you could almost see me start to smile because I felt like, wow, it's not just about playing the notes now. I can start just kind of expressing myself with this groove a little more. You know, I could start... I can start bringing in little devices that I may not think of before, and it just becomes so much more fun. So when you practice excruciatingly slow, you're giving yourself the gift, and I guarantee you that you can play anything when you take it this slowly and work it up. Okay, so the third thing that your practice sessions need is honest self-assessment. All right, so you've listed your weaknesses, you've attacked them excruciatingly slowly, and then comes the final thing that you have to do in your practice session, which is self-assessment. You've got to be honest with yourself. So back in the 90s, when I was getting into jazz and really starting to develop my playing, I would record everything that I did, and my friends and I would record all of our jam sessions on these DAT recorders, right? Remember the DAT machines? They still sound great, but we called them the truth machine, okay? Because they never lied. You can learn so much from it. And now it's never been easier. We all have a truth machine in our pocket. These. All you got to do is just put it up on your music stand and record. And I do recommend video recording yourself so you can also see your technique. A lot of times you'll notice things with your face or things with your body where you're tensing up. We should look relaxed when we're playing. So using the video element of your smartphone is fantastic. These are the truth machines. Take notes of what's working and what's not working. I guarantee you, you will learn more from this machine than you might with your teacher right now. All right, so now for the bonus tip that I promised you. So this is if you're ever at a loss for what you should practice, or ever if you're just looking for the one thing that is going to really 10x your practicing, it is transcribing. Now, transcribing is just a fancy word that we use, jazz musicians use, for learning materials by the master players and ideally learning it by ear. All right, but this could be the bass line of a Beatles tune, a jazz solo, a James Jamerson bass line. It doesn't matter. The idea is that you're learning a piece of vocabulary from one of the master players. It doesn't necessarily mean writing it down. It means, just internalizing language. You're working on your vocabulary, your technique, your ear. You're really working on everything at once. Something where you're taking a piece of music from out there and you're bringing it in, learning it, internalizing it, singing it, and then playing it on the bass. Now, in the masterclass that you can access below, I reveal my entire system for transcribing and how to incorporate it into your practice on a weekly basis, even if you just have 25 minutes a day. So if you haven't done that thing yet, you know what to do. So there you have it, 3 things that your practice session needs to have in order for it to qualify as a good practice session. 1, you attacked your weaknesses. 2, you practice everything excruciatingly slow. And 3, you recorded yourself and you assessed yourself honestly. There's a lot more that needs to be in your practicing, but if you just do these, you'll start to shore up your practice time very quickly. So now I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments what's an area of your playing that you really want to work on, you really want to develop in the next 6 months. All right, drop it in the comments below, and let's see if we can tackle this together. And did I mention that I have a practice masterclass where I reveal my personal system for how I practice, even if I only have 25 minutes a day? I think I might have, but you can grab that in the link below. Now, in that class, I'm also going to show you some of my favorite and most powerful exercises. But if you're looking for one that you can jump into right now that'll really level up your playing, click here.